The biggest problem right now with video game development, particularly those games in the first-person shooter space, which is where my favorite place to play is that game studios are lacking conviction. And it has caused a litany of problems. As you look through all of these games in the last year or so, it has become increasingly more apparent to me as a gamer, as a fan, as a small YouTuber who is playing all these things, trying to see what the finger, what is the pulse, right? Where is everybody playing? What does everybody want to talk about? What is the hype? And I'm realizing FPS after FPS after FPS comes out and essentially dies, or at least is a mere shadow of what it could have been, because the game studios that have made those games lack conviction. And I cannot believe that in 2022, where the video game market is the biggest it has ever been, where you have consoles that are still spanning across generations, there's still a lot of PS4s and PS4 Pros and Xbox One X's and S's out there. You're starting to see a little bit more with the PS5 and the Xbox Series start to come out. Obviously, PC gaming has taken a little bit of a hit thanks to crypto mining and the influx of people buying graphics cards. But it's pretty easy to get into gaming if you wanted to. There's a lot of entry points in there. And it's very surprising to me that these game companies are essentially handed a platter of millions and millions of fans worldwide who are voraciously awaiting another experience and are constantly disappointing us. I'm going to just name a few games that come off on the top of my head. There are more. There are probably even better examples of the ones I'm going to give, but this was something that I felt like I wanted to talk about. I don't have any notes in front of me. I'm looking at my beautiful face on OBS with a blank desktop. So this is going to be a little spitfire, but I wanted to just get this off my chest because the more I sit and stew and think about this, the more it ticks me off. Rainbow Six, perfect example. Rainbow Six is a tactical, first-person, team-based shooter in which you play against other operatives in these incredibly advanced simulations where you're punching through drywall and rappelling down zip lines and using gadgets to try to outsmart and outfox a group of enemies who are either trying to attack your position or defending against the position that you need to take. There's a reason it's still an incredibly popular game today. There's a reason so many people still love and enjoy Rainbow Six Siege, and it's because they stuck to their roots. Where do they lack conviction? Well, they release a new experience in which you go and fight aliens or zombies or whatever the hell these things are. They're not human. It takes a page right out of the fantasy and it throws you into this experience that isn't grounded in the Tom Clancy tactical experience that all of us have wanted. Now, I do enjoy the game. I do play it. I did a review on it and said don't sleep on it because I think it's worth checking out. But it's definitely not something you're going to hang your hat on. It's definitely not a game like Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War or Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which is still universally loved by so many people. A game that has so much staying power because it stayed true to what the experience was. And speaking of Call of Duty, let's talk about Call of Duty Vanguard. Call of Duty Vanguard wants to throw us back into a World War II simulator, which, listen, we're all tired of that by now. But okay, if you want to go back to World War II for the 9,000th time, what's the exciting new thing? Well, there is no exciting new thing. All they did was take World War II weaponry, slap red dot sights on it, slap holoscopes on it, and say, well, it's still World War II, but with a modern flair. No, you're still stuck with the crappy bolt-action weapons and the drum cartridges and the non-fun of any of these old weapons. There's a reason people don't use these weapons anymore, guys. There's a reason why you don't see people going out on the street with their belt drum-fed, machine gun or their Tommy gun. It's because there are more lethal weapons now. If you want to know what any of those weapons are, you could take a snapshot from Call of Duty in the 80s with Cold War, or you could take a look at Modern Warfare, which has phenomenal modern weaponry. Again, what did Call of Duty do? They lacked conviction. They said they were going to do something, and then they kind of dialed it back. Halo, another perfect example. Halo decided to go free to play, and I love Halo. I do a video just about every week on how much I love Halo and all the things that frustrate me because I'm so laser focused on Halo Infinite, and I'm so laser focused on that experience and the Halo Championship Series, and what can we do to make that competitive environment better. What does Halo do? Well, they decided to go free to play, and they introduce a lot of weird microtransactions, and they take their focus off of what made Halo fun. They didn't double down on better server nodes. They didn't double down on quality control. And as a result, Big Team Battle was basically unplayable for over a month. Matchmaking still suffers from insane latency issues. Don't be fooled by the latest set of patch notes where they say to have fixed that. They have not. It does not run well. The server tick rate is in the garbage. You're still getting hit by phantom bullets and super bullets and shot around walls, and shots are not registering, and things are just not happening the way that you are perceiving them on the server side, and that's where it matters, on the server side. What did Halo do that got them in this position? They lacked conviction. They started going after a free-to-play market. They got rid of the basic things that people wanted, the Forge mode, the cooperative multiplayer, and as a result, the numbers, as I've shown you guys before, have failed. And I think probably the biggest elephant in the room, and definitely one of my top 5 most regrettable gaming purchases ever, Battlefield 2042. Look what Battlefield 2042 is. I don't even know what that game is. You had an eager fan base of people who loved the Battlefield 4 experience. Very passionate fans. They took a great experience and they slowly whittled it down, so much so that they have convinced themselves that adding in a scoreboard is now a legacy feature, and it wasn't something that was originally intended by the development team. You got rid of the really cool core class-based system that forced players to work together to fill in the gaps. You couldn't be all things to all people. A medic could heal, which was phenomenal, but they didn't have a lot of firepower. Well, a support could fill in that gap, or an engineer could help repair armor, or a sniper could help with long range, using tugs or SOFLAMs, or any kind of guidance to help other players engage. They could infiltrate in as a team. They got rid of all that, and they made an Overwatch-based hero shooter, which is something that nobody wanted. And it's clear nobody wants it because there's less than 2,000 people playing it right now. It's just insane. And what did they miss? The conviction. They had a great concept, and they started changing, and they started doubting themselves. If I ever get to a point in my channel where it takes off, and I hope to God it does. I mean, I know my videos don't do that well, but if I ever got to a point where my channels take off, do you think I would ever change the format of what people expect to see? Do you go to a Rolling Stones concert, or do you go to a basketball game, and instead of them doing what you think they're going to do, they're like, hey, hold up, wait a minute. I know you came here to see us sing, but instead we're going to play ping pong. Or, hey, I know you came to see the basketball game, but we're only going to play basketball for a little while because we really think it's a lot more fun to play competitive bags. Like, what the hell? This is so confusing to me. Like, if you look at this in a logical frame from any other perspective of the anticipation of what a customer expects to see versus what they get, the expectation versus the reality, the development cycle of these games, and how they all got way off track from wherever they originally started, it's all because these game companies lacked conviction. And it just really frustrates me because they're taking tried and true franchises and they are ruining them left and right. And if you really want to talk about a bloodbath, look at the last few years of some of the first-person shooters that you know and loved, and look at where they are now. Look at what happened to Call of Duty. Look at what happened to Halo. Look at what happened to Battlefield. These games are not dead by any stretch of the... Well, Battlefield's definitely dead. But Call of Duty and Halo still have a fighting chance. And I think that's why people like me are constantly making content saying, guys, you are missing the boat. These focus groups of people who are supposed to be sitting down and really helping you channel the game into what the fans want, they're not working. The people that worked on these games should be ashamed of themselves, and they should go find people who understand what this means. What is Halo? What is Call of Duty? What is Battlefield? Compare that to where we are today, and I think you'll realize that they screwed up. And don't take my word for it. Check the Steam database for yourself. Look at what people are playing, and you'll see the numbers dropping. And when the numbers are dropping, that means you're failing. So that's my rant for today. Leave a comment below. Let me know if I got anything wrong. I'm sure I misspoke somewhere, so please go ahead and timestamp it so I can give you a thumbs up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'm glad I got this off my chest. Please have a wonderful rest of the week. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.